What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Bear with another one. People, in today's video, we're going to discuss the road that has been rolling the whole time and the sad state that things are going. Can you believe it? Can you believe this? For the first time since 1994, for the first time since 1994, first time since 1994. Latest polls have revealed that the DA and the ANC are now tied on supporter base level. I mean, even if it's not exactly 50-50, the mere fact that either the ANC has dropped that far below or that the DA has now shot up to those high margins that the ANC once used to enjoy. That, my friend, is a big, major concern. Now, what does this tell us? This tells us that there is a shift in voter confidence because people no longer believe in the party of their dreams, right? The party that prides itself on bringing democracy, bringing independence, bringing freedom, bringing BEE, bringing sweeping changes that actually amount to almost no changes because the bureaucratic red tape that still surrounds the creation of small businesses, the lack or the low funding of black businesses, just the whole system that used to be in place is still very much in place. It's like apparently there's over 2,000 laws from the colonial days, from apartheid days, that are still in play today. So the question still remains, right? What has the party of your dreams done for them to drop this far below that they are now tied with the party that was light years behind them and now they are on par in supporter base? So let's start with voter confidence. People have lost confidence in the ANC. People have lost the vision that the ANC once used to preach to them. People have forgotten, do not even want to know anymore. People have just lost faith in the ANC. People have now seen through the ANC that they are what a party could never ever try to be. On paper, they are the party of the world with the most liberal, most dynamic, most, I don't know, out of this world constitution. In reality, well, that means nothing. Over 24 million South Africans go to bed hungry every day. Did you even know that? That number is staggering. The mere fact that Cyril Ramaphosa could come on TV and boast and brag that we've got 30 million people on grants. That, my friend, is a massive achievement if you didn't know in the stakes of low governance. I mean, I cannot understand how people can brag about having so many dependents on state grants. I don't know if that is a flex. I don't know if that is a bragging point. I don't know if those are brownie points. But what I do know for a fact is that this party has all the ingredients. It has all the hallmarks of a liberation movement that has lost its way, lost its path, drowned in power, drowned in money, that they do not see the people on the other side who brought them into power. You see, when the ANC came into power, honestly speaking, it was for the people. They had the biggest rollout of RDP housing in the world. Let's not forget that. They had the biggest H- HIV program in the world, right? Cool. All that is what they are banking on. All that is what they are talking about. All that is what they always try to remind us of how good they are and that we should never forget what they've done for this country. And I totally get it. We give credit where credit is due at the time that it is due. You understand what I'm saying? There's no way in hell we can keep giving you credit for something you did in 1801 when it is now 2025. We keep talking about the great thing you did in 1801. What did you do in 1901? What did you do in 2001? You understand what I'm saying? 100 years after the initial great big event that you actually did. So that's my whole point that I'm bringing to the table. So let's look at the second point. People have lost faith in the ANC. Okay, so this has now shown that people are now shifting focus and putting more faith in the DA. Okay, why? Why is this the case now? If you live in the Western Cape, if you live in Cape Town, you will know, you will see, you will feel that you are in a first world city. And that's a fact. It's not like Joburg isn't a first world city either. Trust me, Joburg is also a first world city, right? But here's the key difference. Here's the key difference. Joburg is a dirty, filthy, unruly, corrupt to the core city, where corruption is openly almost sold, not even on the black market, but on the open market. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Ekurhuleni is regarded as the most corrupt municipality in Gauteng, if not in the country. But it's certainly among the top five most corrupt municipalities in the country, right? Apart from the ones that get put under administration, those are probably the most corrupt. You know what I mean? Outside of those that have been put out, that have been put under administration, Ekurhuleni will come out tops, if not second best, at best. People, when we, well, let me not say we because I wasn't there fighting for freedom, right? I didn't go throw stones, neither did I go to the to the jungle to go and fight. I didn't go to the bush to go and fight. So let me not say. Let me phrase it in the rightful way. When black people fought and colored people fought and Indian people fought for freedom, right? Never in their wildest dreams did they ever think that just a mere 30 years later, they would be putting their faith back into the very people that they were fighting against just 30 years prior. I mean, isn't that ironic? You fight against someone who is oppressing you, you get your freedom through a hard fought battles. 30 years later, you then go back to the drawing board and say, okay, oppressors, please come back because this thing of freedom, this thing of democracy is not working. It doesn't seem to bear fruit. So let's go back and let's do the oppression thing again because that seems to be a more viable option. Now, of course, apartheid 2.0 is not going to come back in the form that it used to be. It's not going to be like no signs put up, no blacks allowed, no colors allowed, only white. It's not going to be like that. It will be in a subtle way, and the subtle way is simple way. Members only. We are closed. We are full. We are closing. We're about to close. Oh, your dress code. Certain hair types are not allowed. Certain, I don't know, certain. what you call these here, certain African tools and African features, or it's like how they try to ban the vuvuzelas at the 2010 World Cup, soccer World Cup, because they said no, it'll be too loud for the Europeans, and the Europeans are complaining that the vuvuzelas are so loud they couldn't even hear each other. But what are you expecting? You expected an African World Cup. You got an African World Cup. Now you're complaining that it's too damn African. That's not what you're expecting. When Africans go to Europe for the World Cup, they get the whole European experience. Now the Europeans come to Africa for the World Cup, they want the European experience again. It doesn't work that way, right? But now, why am I putting that into perspective? Easy. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. You cannot fight your oppressor, banish them to the annals of history. Then you want to call them back and say, please come back because we are failing. Why are you failing? That's the question. Why are you failing? I mean, I would really think that South Africa would be the typical example of how not to be like the rest of Africa because they would have learned. I mean, come on, guys. South Africa just got its freedom recently. So they had a whole, I don't know, since the 50s and 60s when African nations started getting their independence and falling off the racks. They should have been learning from all those people. It seems to me that they never learned anything. Instead, what they did is just copy that same playbook that, oh, wow, once you get rid of the oppressor, this is how you get power, this is how you get money, and this is how you create generational wealth for your people, for your family and friends. And that's the playbook that we're going to go by. No strengthening of the country, no strengthening of the economy, no boosting of educational systems. I mean, how do you like this? 30 years into democracy, and the pass rate gets lower and lower and lower. By 2050, if the ANC is still in power, the pass rate at matric is going to be 10%. It's already down to 35%. So let's go. Because now our students are not that bright anymore. We've got to go even lower. So to make them pass, 10% is the pass mark. Out of what? 10% out of what? Out of 20? That's a pass. 10% out of 20, that's a pass. Right? 10% out of 100? Wow. Wow. If 35% is a pass, that means 50% is flying colors by the ANC standard. I mean, if you can get 50% in matric out of any subject, you get 50%. That means you're an A student by the 35% standard that the ANC's implemented, right? Because, I mean, you've way past the recommended percentage pass rate. That's by matric standards. I don't understand that, bro. You understand what I mean? So at the end of the day, you have to be realistic and say, okay, guys, we've done the whole oppressive thing. We've done the whole apartheid thing. We've done the whole um, colonial thing. And it didn't work in our favor because we were excluded from the economy. But for some strange reason, the country worked. How did it work? Well, we're going to say because it only catered for a few million people, 2 to 3 million people. Cool. It catered for 2 to 3 million people, like you say, right? But if they only catered for 2 to 3 million people, all the roads, all the rail networks, all the factories, all the companies, all the low employment rates, all the cheap goods, was that only for the 2 or 3 million people? Let's be honest, let's be real. No, it wasn't. So thank you. They were just not only catering for 2 to 3 million people. When they were building this country, yes, I do agree. They built nice, beautiful houses in the mountains, in the exclusive, nice soil, nice sand, nice, beautiful, fertile ground areas for themselves. I totally get that point. I do get that point. You see, it doesn't matter where you live. You can live under a rock, you can live in a cave, you can live underwater for all I care. But if your quality of life in those spaces, in those places, is much higher than people who are living in houses and brick structures and whatever structures in other places, other countries that do not have the quality of life that you are having, even though they're living in brick houses, but the quality of life is not the same, then we have a problem. So the thing is, we're starting to look at it in a way that says, because we were not allowed to go to Sea Point, because we were not allowed to go to Camps Bay, we should get rid of that system based on just that alone. I'm just giving an example. Obviously, there's other more atrocious things that were done, right? But I'm saying just take the bare minimum, right? If we have to say no blacks and coloreds allowed at the beaches, but at least Sea Point, Camps Bay, those beaches, can we live with that, knowing that the economy is going to be in good hands, the economy is going to rise, the country is going to be strengthened, borders are going to be reinstated, everything goes back to being first class. But the only thing is that you cannot go back. You cannot go to the white beaches. You cannot go to the affluent beaches that used to be for white people only. Would you agree to that? I would. Because what's the point now? You got access to anywhere and everywhere, but the quality of life is going down. So I would rather be restricted and live a high quality life than have full access and have a low quality life. That's all I'm saying. Now, that's my view, and I could be wrong, but I'm beginning to believe that people are now having a mind shift to say, we would rather have the oppressor come back, put the country back to its former glory. Yeah, we're going to accept whatever apartheid 2.0 that they're going to bring, but at least we know country's going to be safer, borders are going to be safer, the country is going to be in a much stronger position economically and financially. And if that is what it takes for us to get back to those high levels, then so be it. Let's vote the DA back into power. I would actually sign up for that because honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Our people have let us down big time, big time. I don't think going forward there's going to be a place or a space for black-led parties in the future. I do not see it. I do not see it. From the top of Africa right down to South Africa, it is now been proven that black governments certainly do not do not have the capabilities, do not have the knowledge, do not have the skills, and do not have the tools necessary to run countries. Yes, we may say Botswana is a good example, Namibia is a good example, but none of those countries are on South Africa's level. They're not. They certainly not. If South Africa is the crown jewel in Africa, then why would you even try to compare anyone less? It wouldn't make sense, right? Yes, there are African countries with good leaders. I totally get it. I can put my hand up and say yes. There are countries with good leaders like Burkina Faso, like Namibia, maybe Botswana too. Good countries with good leadership. But that doesn't mean that black parties know how to rule countries. It just means that those countries have good leaders in place. I don't know what is good because Botswana is not developed to a point where you can call it a second world country. You know, yeah, the economy is strong, the currency is strong by African standards. Quality of life definitely good. I think I don't see many people from Botswana traveling out, living. You know what I mean? With all that goodness, it's still Botswana is still behind South Africa. So that begs the question, like, how good is good? So do they also need to restore their faith in a white government, or are they happy with the current government and the status quo? These are just some of the questions that we need to ponder and ask ourselves. What is the way forward? Because it really does look like apartheid 2.0 has to come back, because we don't have a choice, because we have failed ourselves. We have been failed by the people that we have put our faith in, and the numbers in the recent polls are showing that. Let me know what you think about this comment. At this, let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we family, right? Hello.